Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is about The Reluctant Fundamentalist, which is one of the best novels of Mohsin Hamid. Mohsin Hamid, who was born on 23rd July 1971, and he's a British Pakistani novelist, writer, and brand consultant. His novels are Moth Smoke 2000, The Reluctant Fundamentalist, which is written in 2007, How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia, it was written in 2013, Exit West 2017, and The Last White Man, which was written in 2022. Mohsin Hamid, born in Punjabi and Kashmiri descent, Hamid spent part of his childhood in the United States, where he stayed from the age of 3 to 9 while his father, a university professor, was enrolled in a PhD program at Stanford University. He then moved with his family back to Lahore, Pakistan, and attended the Lahore American School. So this was a short explanation about Mohsin Hamid and the reluctant fundamentalist Changez, which is the main character in the novel. And Changez presents a monologue about his life and the evolution of his identity. Because the story takes the form of a monologue, the narrative is told from a single point of view, that of Changez, the protagonist of the novel. That is, the narrative is framed entirely from Changez's perspective. Although a single frame narrative can reveal the inner emotional and psychological evolution of the storyteller, it may also be biased. The truth or falsity of the events described by the sole narrator are ever corroborated by another character's view of the same events. So in this video, first we will talk about characters. The first character, that is Changez. So Changez is the Pakistani protagonist of the novel who attended Princeton University, which is present in America, and narrates the story of his time in the States and his subsequent disillusionment to the stranger. At first, Changez loves America, has many friends, works hard for a New York financial firm, and even has a girlfriend, Erica. However, in the aftermath of 9/11 attacks, he experiences discrimination and racism from his adopted country and becomes sourced toward the United States, viewing it as a threat to the world. His girlfriend Erica is unable to fully get over the death of her previous boyfriend and has a tendency to see Changez as something of an exotic foreigner. Further hardening his heart, he eventually returns to Pakistan as an anti-American teacher. But it is never fully clear just how radical his feelings have become. To say his feelings on the United States are complicated is an understatement. The second character we are having, that is the stranger. Changez's conversation with the stranger serves as a framing device for his story, and this stranger meets Changez at Lahore in the hotel of living in America and becoming the man he is today. The stranger is unnamed and never speaks, means he just listens Changez. What Changez says, he just listens that. So it is left to the reader to judge whether he can be trusted. Thus each reader must decide whether the stranger is a simple tourist, an American spy sent to apprehend or kill Changez, or something even more sinister. And the third character which we are having, that is Erica. Erica, Changez's girlfriend during his time in the United States. Erica herself is representative of his tumultuous relationship with America. She is beautiful, popular, and smart, though she loves Changez. Her inability to move on from her previous boyfriend, Chris, who died a year before she and Changez met, puts a heavy strain on their relationship. After 9/11 attacks, she falls victim to depression and obsession. and it is unclear whether or not the later or not she later took her own life. Changez clearly still holds affection for her memory and sometimes imagines that she might seek him out. Means Changez thinks that she might be seeking me. Though Changez knows that this is likely impossible. And the fourth character we are having, that is Jim. Jim is the executive VP at the financial firm Underwood Sampson and serves as a mentor to Changez for much of his time at the firm. He is a classic rags to riches story, and he identifies with Changez because of their similar financial backgrounds. Unfortunately, Jim's wave of Changez is colored by his inability to truly comprehend Changez's cultural and racial background, much as Erica's view is colored. And the fifth character we are having, that is Wainwright. Wainwright is Changez's only friend at Underwood Sampson. Underwood Sampson is like company where they work, and that's present in America. And the only other colored person in his class, means Wainwright is the only other colored person in his class. And the last character which we are having, that is John Batista, the old CEO of publishing company in Valparaiso. He advises Changez to not just be a mercenary for the Americans. Means he thinks that Changez should not work for America. Changez should move to his own country because he is just giving profit or just like giving too much importance to America. Why not he should give this importance to his own country, means Pakistan? Why not he should work in Pakistan instead of working here in America? So John Batista, like I said, he's the old CEO of a publishing company in Valparaiso. Well, now we will talk about Sabri. Lahore, Pakistan, a young fellow named Changez goes up to a stranger on the street and inquires if he may be of any assistance. There is something within the inquiry that is an unsettling mixture of being overly polite and yet also strangely threatening. Changez tells the stranger that he looks American and he would like to take him to a nearby cafe. Inside the cafe, the stranger is subjected to a tale by Changez of the time that he spent in America, especially the time he attended Princeton University, where he utilized his Pakistani background to the ultimate positive effect. Americans, he discovered, are immediately taken with exotic. Nevertheless, Changez was forced to secretly take employment doing a number of different jobs in order to support himself and his family. The greatest lesson that he gained from Princeton was how to become indoctrinated into the ideology of the American dream. By the time he becomes a senior, Changez songs on interview with Underwood Sampson, a company whose job is to determine the valuation of companies. The interview goes well, and just before starting his career with Underwood Sampson, Changez goes on holiday to Greece, where he meets Erica. And Erica, who was the girlfriend of Chris, but Chris has died, so Erica is alone in Greece, and she met with Changez, and Changez had a conversation with Erica. The interesting thing about Erica is that Erica was also graduated from Princeton University. So Erica, a Princeton grad and great beauty, when he gets back to New York, means when Changez gets back to New York, he works for Sampson and spends time with Erica. Though life is good, he can't help but notice a definite sense of alienation and loneliness coursing through Erika. And September 11, 2001, Changez is working in Manila and is struck by the intense emotional response to the sight of the collapsing World Trade Center towers. An emotional response defined by Share Player. On his flight back to New York, Changez realizes that the world has changed forever for him. He now must face prejudice and discrimination based on his physical appearance as a routine way of life. Erika has been equally traumatized by the events of 9/11 attacks, though in a different way, and longs for her dead boyfriend. Chris Changez managed to score with her by telling her to pretend he's her dead boyfriend during sex. Thinking that they will now, he draw closer. Changez finds that instead this experience has driven them further apart, and the pervasive sense of alienation sends Changez back to Pakistan for a visit to the old home state. As a Pakistani, Changez also feels an innate sense of suspicion and hatred toward the US for what he views as supporting the aggressive policies of India toward his homeland. And yet Changez is not entirely at home within the skin of his Pakistani genes. And this feeling of a lack of belonging remains nebulous and unformed until he meets John Batista, who views Changez as a janissary, an elite warrior force that ultimately became the most powerful political entity in the entire Ottoman Empire. They were also literally abducted from their own culture and reconstituted into a force trained to fight against that very culture. It all comes home for Changez upon the realization that by working for Underwood Sampson, he is actually a warrior in the battle against Pakistani interests. Like I said, that Underwood Sampson is a company who offers job to intellectual people, and that company takes special people from from the whole world, from different countries, and they work there and they pay a handsome salary. So the same Changez was working there, but Changez realizes that he is just giving benefit to that company, and he's like against of his own country, namely Pakistan. So like John Batista also says that he's actually a warrior in the battle against Pakistani interests, means John is talking about that company Underwood Sampson. And as he nears the end of the story, Changez notices that the stranger does not seem to be paying full attention and is instead furtively looking over his shoulder at a group of people following them. Changez agrees that the waiter with them looks less than enchanting, but he takes pains to inform the stranger that there really is no reason to suspect harm might be coming his way. He asserts that the stranger should no more assume that all foreigners are terrorists than he himself should suspect that all Americans in Pakistan are spies. The stranger puts his hand into his jacket, which compels Changez to remind the man that they have become intimately associated over the course of his conversation, and then goes on to add that he very much hopes that what the stranger is reaching for is a business card. So it's a question for all readers that what actually he was going to take out from his pocket. Was it a business card or some kind of gun? And was he going to shoot Mr. Changez? So the question has left for the readers by the author. So this was all about today's I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have liked this video, if this video has sparked your interest, I suggest you to like, share, comment and do subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself.